policies with 3 or 4 issues with it. Maynard, the Speaker of the House, says all you are is a bunch of worthless people that don't want to find work. Mr. Latta, a congressman in this district, says it's not Wall Street's the problem, it's Obama and the Democrats in Congress. Michelle Bakle, who's running for president, even said worse, the rest of them is going to jail. All issues that come before the people have always had people being arrested, going to jail, and suffered, just like the civil rights, the Vietnam War, and like I said, Latta's quote, it's not Wall Street, it's the Democrats and Obama. But you know what Marcy Kaptur said? They hit the nail right on the head. They know what the problem is. Labor Department statistics and economic statistics. In the mid-40s, the top 10% of the population as far as wealth controlled 40% of the wealth. By the mid-50s, that 10% owned 50% of the wealth. By the early mid-80s, 60% of the wealth. In 2004, 70% of the wealth. 10% and 70% of the wealth in this country. That means the other 90% is fighting for the other 30%. If it gets any worse, how are people going to live? There's no jobs in this country right now, unless there are a few minimum wage jobs out there. All our industrial jobs have gone overseas. And whose fault that is? Big business. Walmart told their suppliers, we want your products cheaper. Go overseas. They passed NAFTA, so our jobs can lead through Mexico to the Far East. NAFTA is one of the worst things ever hit this country. Everybody talks about Ronald Reagan being such a great person. I don't think he was. First thing he did, he went after the air traffic controllers and broke their union. Then he took the controls off gasoline. When he was president, gasoline was average was 42 cents a gallon in this country. They took the controls off, the prices have gone skyrocketing ever since. He took the controls off the banking industry. At one time, on the controls of the banking industry, they could not charge more than 2% on a loan above what they pay people in interest on CDs. Now the margin is greater. And let's look at also our lovely U.S. Senator, Junior Senator, Mr. Portman. When he worked for George W. Bush in the White House, his sole job was to help U.S. companies go offshore so they wouldn't pay federal income tax. Several U.S. companies don't pay federal income tax at all, and foreign companies don't pay any at all. The federal income tax was established back in 1913. At that time, the rate was 0.5% to 2%. The high wage earners paid the 2%, low end paid 0.5%. And they really didn't need the money to run the government at that time. It was to help redistribute the wealth to keep the economy moving. Today, the federal income tax is a regressive tax instead of a progressive tax, like all of our other taxes are. And then the buyout of AIG and the financial industry out of the financial conditions that they created, government expense under the George W. Bush administration. Our lovely governor, Mr. Casey, worked for Lehman Brothers. He talked Governor Taft at that time to invest pension funds with Lehman Brothers that were bankrupt at the end, a tune of $480 million of pension funds lost by our lovely governor we have now in the state of Ohio. Oh, and then when I talk about the local level, the people that use 40,000 cubic feet of water a month only pays 31.4% of what the residential customer pays for 1,000 cubic feet of water. That is wrong. They should pay their fair share. They also give them all sorts of abatements from taxes to corporations to lure them into the community. That is also wrong. Supreme Court of the United States last year ruled that corporations are individuals and they can spend what the heck they want in an election. In our last election cycle, they bought this last election with their money. And see what we got. The attacks on Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid happens to be large businesses and the Republican Party. Instead of going after tax breaks that George W. Bush gave to corporations. When Clinton was president of the United States, our tax code, we had a surplus in the budget. We were paying off our debt. And just like before, Reagan and George Walker Bush were president, gave all sorts of tax cuts to George W. Bush, and now our deficit soared out of sight again. We need to correct that problem. Now we're facing issue 2. Amazing that we had to fight the issue 2 of collective bargaining in the state of Ohio and across this country. It's so important that on November 8th you turn out and vote no on issue 2 to save the workers' rights to be able to collectively bargain on a contract with their employers. They'll try anything. Matter of fact, part of the problem we got in the state of Ohio now was created by Governor Taft before he left office, before Strickland took office. Him and the Republicans phased out 4 taxes on corporations in the state over 5 years. The 2 largest being the intangible tax and inventory and corporate franchise tax. And 80% of the money from the intangible tax went to school districts. So to replace that money to school districts, they came up with this cap tax that hit small businesses, agriculture, and I'm trying to think of the third one now. Small business, agriculture, and grocery store. To make up that difference. I mean, small businesses have a hard time making it today in communities, and they're going to make it tougher with this tax. But big business, and the top 1% of this population don't care about small business, anybody else other than themselves. Another fact, they want the employees to suffer. The Senate bill for this issue 2. Only 8% of the state budget is wages and benefits. Only 8% of the state budget. 8% is not going to make a difference whether they have a balanced budget or not. But yet they have all sorts of things and gimmicks. Like, for example, our governor wants to sell the turnpike. And he wants to be able to hand that money to corporations to come into Ohio. If you look see what's happened in Indiana, after 5 years, that money's completely gone. The road's deteriorating. The outfit doubled the rates on the Indiana Turnpike. You may see the same in Ohio if he gets his way on that. And let's see who's backing Senate Bill 5 and Issue 2. The Cook brothers. Nationwide Insurance. Huntington Bank. If you got insurance with Nationwide, go somewhere else. Take your money out of Huntington Bank because they're financing the destruction of the middle class and lower in this country. Issue 3 on the ballot is the health care bill. I can't quite understand how you can pass a state constitutional violation of federal law. The World Health Organization ranks our healthcare system 65th in the world. Our life expectancy is 40th in the world. Yet we pay the highest cost for healthcare of any country in the world of our gross national product percentage-wise and otherwise. The Canadian government, who's got universal healthcare, is spending half of what we are percentage-wise in their GNP on healthcare. The only industrialized country in the world doesn't have universal health care. How we talk about competing in a world market if we're not playing on the same playing field as far as our health coverage in this country? Hospitals. Everybody tells me our health system's great. I disagree with that. The Mayo Clinic in Minnesota is ranked 76th in the world. our next hospital is a Cleveland Clinic at 117. Canada has, for example, in Toronto alone, has 2 hospitals ranked in the top 10. One of those hospitals performed the first successful separation of Siamese twins in the world. When I was up on vacation the first week in August in Canada with my wife, we went to Niagara Falls, Canada. We ran into a woman up there from Attica, New York. And she told me she comes up twice a year to see a Canadian doctor so she can get a prescription for her painkillers and other drugs that cost only 10% of what it costs here in the United States. If you listen to the news in this last week and a half about the company, large pharmaceutical company that bought out 3 smaller pharmaceutical companies that made the ones that made the drug for gout treatment. Gout treatment's been around since ancient Egypt. This outfit bought all the drug companies out, and this past year it hasn't doubled or tripled. That drug is now 50 times higher than it was last year at this time. They also was on the news about these corporations buying drugs up that they know are in short supply. They buy these drugs up so there's no supply, so they can name their price. So the hospitals and the pharmaceuticals, the pharmacies, have to pay their price. They want the drug. We need to correct that system. Also, according to the World Health Organization, half the surgeries in this country are not needed. Half the drugs that are prescribed are not needed by people, just to line the pockets of the pharmaceuticals. And yesterday, if you listen to Channel 11 News, they talked about doctors. A doctor up here in Bowling Green got $233,000 some dollars last year from drug companies to prescribe their drugs, their name brand drugs, over generics that were cheap to people. Come on now. Yep. The number 4 doctor got $53,000 in northwestern Ohio. And there was the number 2 doctor was over $175,000 out of Toledo that used to practice out here at the clinic, Dr. Barzwal. And I know when I had a kidney stone, I had the last appointment in the day with him. And he was in such a big hurry to get out with my appointment over, so he'd be wined and dined by a drug company. And then when I got the prescription, I went to the pharmacist at the chief and asked, can I have a generic? No, you can't have the generic. Dr. Barzwal won't let you have it. You know, that's wrong. Those doctors should be prosecuted and put in jail for that. You know, Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. My dream is we re-adopt the Clinton tax code and make the large corporations pay their fair share in taxes. We start buying products made in the United States and not overseas and tell the merchants we're not going to buy them. Get rid of about 2/3 of the foreign giveaways we give across the world, especially Afghanistan. We gave a bunch of money here. They were protecting Bin Laden the whole dang time. Another thing, we need to also get rid of the oil subsidies and farmers allowed to be paid for not growing crops on ground. We need the ground for those crops to be for soybeans and corn for biodiesel and ethanol. We need to change these now. So turn out and vote November 8th and vote no on 1, 2, and 3 and send a message to Wall Street and the Republican Party who's in their hip pocket that this is enough and it's time for a change. Thank you.